Okay, so I have seen some really, really great think pieces and narratives and jokes about this whole segregation thing. But I want to be able to let you know that the whole segregation thing has nothing to do with black people.
Black people have come out to speak about Trump's segregation, and they've said that it has nothing to do with them. As a matter of fact, they are goofing around and joking with it like it had nothing to do with them. But not all of them. There are some people who feel like people need to know more, and they've come out and spoken. Hey yo, welcome to the channel. My name is Cesar, and you're welcome to Cesar's Spill. Let's go listen to what people thought about Trump, restating segregation, and I'll see you guys right at the end.
And has everything to do with white people. Follow me, okay? So it reminds me of Toni Morrison, who is my favorite author. She is a black author, but she is my favorite author, period. And she was being interviewed by a white woman. And essentially the white woman asked, like, when are you going to elevate your writing and include the white perspective in it? Like, or the right, or the white gaze in it, as she would say. And Toni Morrison replied that I'm not. Because Toni Morrison believed that her books could be read by everybody, but she wrote her books for black people. And if you're not a part of black culture, there are certain things within our culture that mandates explanation so that those that are not a part of our culture can understand it. Toni Morrison took that out of her writing. So she said, if you get it, you get it. If you don't, then you don't. But I'm only writing through the black lens for the black experience and the black gaze. That is it. And so when the lady asked that question, Toni Morrison said, I'm never going to do that. And the reality is that black people live very, very full lives, and white people aren't even a thought. Like, black people tend to live their lives in a way where we do not think about what white people are doing. And that is very true. It is very factual. A lot of black people only interact with white people because they go to work with them. Right? So if they do not work with white people and you're black, how many times are you socializing with white people outside of work? For a lot of black people, you don't really socialize a lot of times at work, after work, with white people. And so when you have that reality, then it begs for you to be able to go down a line of questioning, right? Which is, what is the issue with segregation? And I've seen some white people on here that was like, white people should be saying that segregation is bad. And the reality is that no, that's not really the problem, right? Because the problem is that we were separate and not equal. That's the problem. It was the maltreatment. Because the reality is that we are no longer segregated. But yet we are still mistreated. We still are not offered the same amount of opportunities. We are still not paid the same rate. We are still not afforded the equality of it. So what white people did was, okay, fine. We will desegregate. It's fine. But once black people entered these spaces, we were still being mistreated. And so the question could actually be, if we had equality, right? If we had equal access to buying land, equal access to be able to garner wealth, equal pay, and we were never desegregated, would desegregation actually be necessary? And there is when you take a look at what was happening with the Tulsa riot, is the fact that black people were equal and separate. Right? They had land, they had businesses, they were accruing wealth. It was the wealthiest black community. And white people who were not a part of the community, very much separate, and yet we are equal, right? They have banks, they have people that build, they have people that, grocery stores, they have houses, they have neighborhoods, they have milkmen, they have mailmen. White people have their own neighborhoods, white people have their own businesses, white people have their own groceries, white people have their own things, separate but very much equal. And white people looked over and said, what are they doing over there? And bombed it. Right? Because otherwise, if black people continue on prospering on their own, why would any black person say, I need to be over there? There's an argument for that. And so then when you look further, taking a look at desegregation, right? Whose lives improved due to closer proximity of white and black people? White people. Their lives improved. Their logic improved. All of a sudden, they begin to be enlightened on the reality of the fact that they themselves were lied to. Otherwise, had they not come into proximity with black people, there is no reason for them to believe that their ancestors ever did anything wrong. Or there's also no reason to believe that they are more like black people than what they were told. Because many, many years ago, the Republican Party, right, they said that the way that you are able to steal from poor white people is to convince them that they're better than black people. And if you can convince them of that, you can steal money from out of their pockets and they would never notice. So here we are, where we are no longer desegregated. And you see all over this app where you have white people that are learning a lot about historical truths that black people already knew. We already knew these things. But you have white people on a daily that are like, I didn't know that. That's not what I was taught. I wasn't taught that, right? You have whole religious sects of people that were literally taught that the Civil War was not about slavery. You literally have all of these white people that had no clue that Juneteenth existed, or why it existed, or how many years it actually took post-emancipation for the last slave to actually be freed. Proximity has caused for a lot of the misinformation fed to white people to perpetuate racism, to be dismantled. And so you literally have people that are white nationalists. I need you to follow. You literally have people that are white nationalists that are now running the Republican Party, right? In order for them to bring white people back into subjugation, we have to separate them from minorities, because they are learning truths that causes it to be extremely difficult for us to tell them that black people are subservient. Because proximity means that you are able to identify where we overlap. Now they're understanding the humanity of minorities. And now they're not going to go along with the Aryan beliefs that white people are the elite race and they are better than another ethnic group and they deserve to have things by virtue of them being white. Do you see how segregation has nothing to do with black people and has everything to do with getting white people back in line? Are you understanding what's going on here? Because it's never for the sake of black people, which is why black people is like, we cool. Segregate, separate, illuminate, elucidate, do whatever you got to do. And that is a very true reality. Because we have only known desegregation. But we have also only known that when we're in your proximity, we are still killed. We are still murdered. We are still mistreated. We are still shunned. We do not have the same access, even though we are in closer proximity. So if our lives have not changed by becoming in closer proximity, why would we continue to be close? Okay, separate us. But you have white people that are like, no, segregation is wrong. Why? Because your life has changed because of proximity. Are you understanding what I'm saying to you? Do you get this now? Are you tracking? The segregation thing has nothing to do with black people and everything to do with trying to put white people back in their place. Okay? Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
To all the people that are saying that, oh, too many people are romanticizing the thought or the idea of segregation. What exactly do y'all want us to do? Slide down the wall, start crying? Y'all want us to be sad? Y'all want us to lock ourselves up in the house and never come outside and live in fear? Absolutely not. And I don't think anyone is trying to romanticize the thought of segregation. I think people are collectively saying, like, you know what, we don't care. We're not bothered. We're not finna advocate or protest to be in spaces that we are not welcome in. And I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm not. But I thought the whole executive order for the segregation was about gender and it was never about race. I could be wrong. But anyways, back to the segregation. I think people are just tired of being tired. And they have no more fight left in them. Listen, because I'm one of them people that's tired. It's like, what's next? What else you got? Like, it's been so much that's been happening in these past 3 months. This is not the worst thing.
This whole rollback of segregation law thing got me cracking the fuck up, because imagine I'm drinking water and a bitch come up to me and say, hey, you can't drink out of that water fountain. That water fountain is not for colors. And while I'm on the topic, if y'all so worried about being segregated from everybody else, what do you want? Because last time I checked, y'all want y'all own everything. Y'all want black shows, black movies, black radio, black music, black neighborhoods, black churches, black grocery stores, black owned restaurants where you got to pay $15 just to sit down at the table, and a 22% gratuity no matter how many people sitting at the table eating, no matter how good or bad the service was. Y'all want all black everything anyway, but then y'all want to cry about segregation. Make it make sense. What do you want? And if you don't want to be segregated, which ain't nobody segregating us, stupids, but if you really were fearful that people were trying to segregate themselves from us, at what point do you turn inward and say, well, you know, what are the reasons why people don't want to be around us? It can't just be because of the color of our skin or because our hair grows up and not down. It can't be the reason. Because most of y'all got wigs on anyway, so they can't even tell that our hair is kinky no more. So it can't be about that. Perhaps it could be about the fact that everywhere we go, we somewhere loud and obnoxious. It might be about the fact that our kids, no matter what school we send them to, our kids seem to be at the bottom of every single school we send them to. Our kids seem to be overrepresented in special education. Our kids seem to be overrepresented in suspensions and expulsions. Perhaps the issue is with the fact that 60-something% of our babies are born out of wedlock. Perhaps there's an issue with the black communities. You look around, you see more liquor stores and check cashing places than banks and grocery stores. And everybody seems to be okay with that because they keep on living there. Somebody's selling the drugs, somebody doing the drugs. I see crackheads and dope fiends all day long. And I also see the ones supplying and serving them. Let's be for real. Somebody's doing the shooting and the killing in the communities. Somebody's doing the making the babies and leaving them. Somebody's failing to teach their kids how to read. Somebody's failing to teach their kids how to articulate themselves, how to behave in public. We have some issues within our community that need to be worked out, but y'all would rather just blame white people for everything and be mad at white people for not wanting to be around us when we actually could straighten some things out ourselves. But y'all just gonna call me a coon and a whatever for trying to tell y'all what to do. And that's exactly why I tapped out. I ran a school. I created this whole school specifically for black kids in the hood, to take them out of the country, to show them something different, to expose them to a better world. And what they do, what did their parents do? Tear it up. So I tapped out. I don't even care no more. But me and my black child and my black child's black daddy are going to figure it out. We're going to get it right. Ain't nobody going to subjugate us. Ain't nobody going to feel the need to segregate themselves from us, because we are necessary, we are needed, we are appreciated, we are valued, and we are our authentic black selves the whole time.
Black people's biggest downfall, in my opinion, is always going to be trying to be accepted by white people. And I don't give no fuck what motherfuckers get up on this app and say. Desegregation is what fucked us up to begin with. We were so much better off spending our money with each other, whether we had a lot of it, whether we were poor or not. We owned all our shit in our communities, and we weren't as intertwined with a bunch of motherfucking snakes. Now, I don't want to get up on here and just say, oh, I'm for segregation, because I have white friends who I like to be around and who I love dearly. But bitch, shit, I damn sure ain't mad at it. Ho, we could be separate but equal. Now, I'm not saying I want a motherfucker to tell me what bathroom I can and can't go in, or telling me to go in the back of a motherfucking bus. Speaking of, white bitch told me earlier this week to go to the back of a bus. The bitch thinks she's safe because she in Hawaii. But she's not. But that's not what we're here for. Now, I know earlier in the video I said that desegregation is what fucked us up to begin with, but hear me out. Yes, I know during segregation we were at the bottom of the food chain. But honestly, we still the fuck are. Only difference is back then our people were more united because all we had was us. I'd rather support my own damn people 100%. Give me a reason to stop giving my money to these motherfuckers who don't even like me. If a white motherfucker don't want me around them, bitch, I damn sure don't want to be around you. Y'all on this bitch crying. For what? Like this shit, like black people always crying. Bitch, tighten up. Cause if it comes to a point where motherfuckers is trying to really apply pressure and tell us what to do, like we some motherfucking goofies, no disrespect to my ancestors, but we are not them. Well, at least I'm not. I wish a motherfucker would, like a kitchen cabinet. Y'all ass over here scared for what? Stand for something or fall for anything.
Man, Trump done sat up here and brought back segregation. So he just lifted a ban in federal buildings and facilities, right? The segregation ban, that is. At one point in time, it was a law put into place where segregation in government buildings were illegal, but he just lifted that ban. So he basically just let us know right there that he's bringing segregation back on bathrooms, restaurants, water fountains, jobs, and the type of people to hire. That's the reason why they got rid of DEI. And hell, if you want me to be honest, that don't sound like a bad idea at all. And to be honest, that don't sound like a bad decision at all, to be real. Because y'all have to think about how powerful we are as black folk. We are the biggest spenders in the world. For some odd reason, I don't know why we spend so much money as a collective, but we do. But if they want to bring back segregation, let them. Because we can use that $1.7 trillion towards other black businesses, hospitals, banks, school systems, healthcare, whatever we need. We can do it. Because let's be honest here. Y'all remember the last time we did anything like that? Y'all know what happened. So let them. It don't sound like a bad idea anyway. Because let's be honest here. They doing everything they can to get us out in the street to protest on a lot of this stuff that they're doing. And they see that we ain't came outside yet. And we probably ain't coming outside. Like, look at all these big billion-dollar companies that done lost a lot of money the last couple months because we stopped shopping with them. Ever since that stuff started going on, now you see them trying to nitpick, trying to get us outside to do whatever they want to do to plot against us. But I mean, if they want to do that, let them. We ain't biting the bait.
Black women Trump finally came through for us. And I know we've been waiting, black women, saying like, is he gonna, he turning up so much ish? Is he ever going to do anything for us? Like something that like we need, that black women deserve. Y'all, so I heard that Schindler in Chief is giving us back our own bathrooms. And listen, I cannot be more excited. You mean to tell me that I no longer have to share a restroom with people who don't wash their hands, they don't even use washcloths, or they'll sit on the toilet seat without lining and won't even squat? You mean I no longer have to get like 20 paper towels to open the door when I leave the bathroom? Listen, I know that the Schindler in Chief did not think that separating toilets was gonna make us come back outside. That was a gift. You know what? I know y'all listen, black women. I know we don't like a lot of things that Trump is doing, and we're gonna get back to our regular scheduled program tomorrow, right? Because he gonna do something else stupid. But today we're gonna thank him for giving us our bathrooms back. Now listen, y'all go see the videos. Only certain people are talking about that there's a discrimination. Black women, I am honored to share a bathroom with just y'all.
If Trump bringing back segregation, why would that even make black people mad? For the longest, all I've been hearing is don't go where you're not wanted. Don't go where you're not valued. If a certain demographic don't want you in their building or don't want you eating there, don't go there. I wouldn't even fight for the right to want to go somewhere where don't nobody want me at. To tell the truth, a lot of us been segregated from everybody else. We don't even care to be around nobody, let alone another demographic. This is just another rage bait tactic to get two demographics to go against each other, man. It's the same story.
Then people want us to be mad so bad. I don't know. Segregation being bad don't sound too bad to me. You mean to tell me I don't have to guess if my mac and cheese got raisins in it or not? You mean to tell me when I walk into a bathroom, it's going to be clean with R&B playing? You mean to tell me I get to pick the best restaurants to go to? I don't have to guess. Bro, we're about to be living like the kings and queens that we are. And I feel like this is going to backfire real bad. Because realistically, we make everything. Nobody's gonna want to go to the other side. Even the people that aren't on that side but are, the ones with common sense, they're gonna be so mad. Gonna be on one side with the boring cookout and then looking at the other side with our cookout. And they're gonna be looking like, why did y'all do this? Me personally, I feel like segregation being back is just grounds for we're about to take over everything. You know what? I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. I really can't, because that sounds lit.
You see, what Trump fails to realize is that many, if not most, Black Americans have actually been waiting for this moment for years, for literal years. It doesn't take more than 3 brain cells to be able to discern the fact that many Black Americans are fucking tired, and then on top of that, the 92% thing has only made the divide all the more egregious. I'm not even an African American myself, and I can literally see this from a mile away. This is not the 1960s anymore, and people, African Americans, are fucking tired.
The man is trying to put martial law into place. Okay, he's trying to put it into place, and he's trying to get those of us that are melanated upset about it so that way we can go out and riot so he can have a reason to enact martial law. I really wish y'all would have listened to us when they overturned Roe v. Wade. Because I said, and I have the video to prove it, I said that once they overturn Roe v. Wade, they're coming after everything else. Y'all didn't want to believe it because those of y'all who were homophobic, racist, sexist, misogynist, anything of that nature, y'all were salivating at the thought of us suffering. Just happy about it. And now because some of y'all are sitting up here being affected by it personally, now y'all want us to just go out and riot with y'all. Absolutely not. That man just did this, just put into law that it's, we gonna have colored and whites only fountains again, according to him. Like, Black people, continue to stay your ass at home. Continue to stay at home, tend to your families, tend to your dogs, your cats, whatever it is, and mind your business. They want us to get upset so that way they can say this is the reason why we have to enact martial law, because they're mad that we're not mad about it. Y'all had the opportunity to stand with us November 4th and y'all chose not to. We tired. We done.
Child, they trying to bring back segregation, and all I gotta say is, thank God. I don't think these people understand that this isn't going to work the way that it worked during Jim Crow. We are in a social and economic climate where there is a good amount of people from different races that are literally sick of America and its BS. There also is a few successful boycotts that are going on right now that are showing these people we are not playing. I more specifically want to talk about the Black dollar and the Black social capital, and the fact that if these businesses and contractors choose to exercise their right to segregate, that's not only going to make a dent in their business, but the whole economy in general. A lot of people underestimate the Black dollar and how much we spend, whether it be good or bad, at these specific companies, and how much we actually bring in revenue to these people. And when it comes to social capital, Black people are usually the ones behind the popularization of these brands. If we're not the ones that are making it or inspiring it, we are literally the ones that's giving the businesses or whatever trends the traction that it needs. It's not cool or wanted until Black people say it's cool and they want it. And it's not Black people who should be scared. It should be the culture vultures, because where are you going to get your inspiration from now, Bookie Butt? Like, y'all remember on TikTok a few years ago when the Black dancers decided that they weren't going to come up to any more dances because y'all could not credit them, and then there hasn't been a good dance trend on here since? Yeah, that's exactly what's about to happen to your business. And contrary to whatever people believe, America needs the Black dollar and Black creativity. They know the power that we hold. That's why when we did have predominantly Black towns back in the day, like Oscarville, which is better known as Lake Lanier now, and then as well as in Tulsa, Oklahoma, the massacre that occurred there, that's why they came into our towns and did what they did, because they know that by ourselves, we can create a certain level of economic and social capital that they couldn't even dream of, despite what happened to us. All in all, I vote in favor. Just because when I pull up to your establishment or I look on your Google profile, all I need to see is that whites only sign and I'm good. I ain't even got to waste my time with my money coming up in here knowing it's finna be some tomfoolery, okay? Clock it.
You know, Black people. One thing about us and two things for certain, we gonna turn any and everything into a joke, even to our detriment. And yes, I am regarding us joking about segregation. Now, I gotta admit and be real, when I first learned about them making segregation legal again, I made my own video, get my own jokes off. I did. I said they should do it because I look forward to seeing the white folks squirm and squeal when they can't get into our functions with all the seasoning and all the rhythm. However, I have since taken said video down because the more I thought about it and the more I saw other black creators making light of the situation, the more it began to dawn on me, we are firing off these jokes around mixed company, okay? And the last thing that I want to do is to be a black voice that they can use as a reference to defend why they're doing it and say, well, hey, they're cool with it. They're excited for it. So let's just go ahead and do it. I do not want to be a black voice that white people can use to validate what they about to do to us. We know we joking, but do they know we're joking? I don't think so. I don't. Not to mention, a lot of the jokes and skits I've been seeing are black people using the white power dynamics they used against us during that time back on white people, aka you're not welcome in our town type of vibes. And while I get the humor in it, I need for us to understand that will never be a reality in a white supremacist society, okay? The fantasy of black people being left alone by white folks, it is just that, a fantasy, okay? Separate but equal will never be a real tangible thing in this society. And I hate to burst the bubbles and to stop the laughter, but we do need to be fucking for real. We do. Because while yes, back then our community was more tightly knit, quote unquote, a lot of the things that we complain about within our community now, we were complaining about back then and was an issue as well back then. So us trying to frame segregation as the Wiz, can you feel a brand new day? Don't get me wrong, I love us for real, but I also want for us to be for real, you know? All I'm saying is if you want to get the jokes off in the group chat, because we are in mixed company. Yeah.
Do y'all know how desensitized we gotta be for everybody to collectively say, well, okay, now that they say they are bringing back segregation, like, it seems like it was just like a random Tuesday. This is not breaking news. Everyone said, oh wait, they're supposed to be bringing back segregation. So what we having for dinner later? Like, that's the vibes that it's giving. Like, I don't know if it's because we have become this unserious generation, or we just so desensitized to everything that's going on. The fact that segregation could be coming back and no one seems to care. It's like, you know what? Bring it on. What else you got? Because when you think about it, so much has happened within, 3 months? This seems like it's not a big deal. It's like so much worse things has happened that segregation is not that big of a deal. Well, it seems like people just don't care. Like, it's just a random day. Like, okay, what's next? What else you got? You know what? Matter of fact...
Guys, you heard it all here. What are your thoughts concerning all of these? Please share your thoughts in the comment section, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye for now.